European Union says Nigeria's 2023 presidential election distorted, not credible. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Please subscribe to our channel. Inec lacked efficient planning and transparency during critical stages of the electoral process. While on election day, trust in Inec was seen to further reduce due to delayed polling processes. Nigerians went to the polls in highly anticipated presidential and National Assembly elections that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) kept on schedule despite the volatile and challenging environment. Fundamental freedoms of assembly and movement were largely respected, yet the full enjoyment of the latter was impeded by the insufficient planning, insecurity, and the prevailing naira and fuel shortages. Abuse of income vested by various political office holders distorted the playing field, and there were widespread allegations of vote buying. Media provided an extensive coverage of the three leading campaigns, while disinformation interfered with voters' right to make an informed choice on election day. The EU-EOM is continuing its observation of the ongoing collation and tabulation of results throughout the country. INEC's operational capacity was hampered by the ongoing fuel and naira shortage. Insecurity prevented it from accessing some local government areas, notably in the south. Attacks on INEC premises, including just days before polling, hindered population in affected areas, while instilling fear in voters. Overall, stakeholders had expressed confidence in INEC's independence, professionalism, and voter information efforts, but these decreased ahead of election. INEC lacked efficient planning and transparency during critical stages of the electoral process. While on election day, trust in INEC was seen to further reduce due to delayed polling processes and information gaps related to much anticipated access to results on its result viewing portal IREV. In the lead-up to elections, the widely welcome Electoral Act 2022 introduced measures aimed at building stakeholders' trust, however, leaving some important gaps in terms of accountability and INEC's power to enforce the law. Weak points include the lack of INEC empowerment to enforce sanctions for electoral offences and breaches of campaign finance rules. Positively, INEC benefited from more timely financing than for previous contests. Other new provisions also aim to enhance transparency of results. The introduction of the Bimodal Voter Aggregation System (BVAS) and the IREV for the 2023 elections was perceived as an important step to ensure the integrity and credibility of elections. However, delayed training of technical personnel, an inadequate mock testing exercise, a lack of public information on the election technologies diminished expectation and left room for speculation and uncertainty. During the early stage of collation, presidential result forms from polling units were not displayed on the IREV, while Senate and House of Representatives results were slowly published. Presidential election result forms still had to be uploaded after 10 p.m. on election day, raising concerns and reaching only 20% by noon on the 26th of February. Later, the same evening, INEC explained the delay with technical hitches. Among 93.4 million voters, 9.5 million additional voters were registered ahead of the 2023 polls, of whom 2/3 were used following the mobilization efforts during the registration period. Yet, the collection of permanent voters card (PVC), a requirement to vote, was negatively affected by poor institutional planning. 2 days before election, INEC stated that 93.3% of PVC were collected. Without an independent audit of the voter register, quality and inclusiveness could not be assured. Following contentions, candidate registration processes that were 18 contestants for the presidential office and over 4,200 for 461 National Assembly seats, they were selected in party primaries that reportedly lacked transparency and inclusiveness, marked by very chronically low levels of participation of women and youth. This compounded an overall stark lack of legal measures for inclusion and barriers to participation which do not align with international standards. The conduct of contesting parties and candidates, as well as some gaps in the law, led to a spate of pre-election court cases, with some matters not finalized ahead of elections. During the pre-election period, EU-EOM interlocutors criticized various court rulings for being too technical, some leading to belated primary reruns, others to substitutions of perceived legitimate candidates, thereby eroding public trust and exposing intra-party conflicts and contributing to a volatile campaign environment. The campaign was highly competitive, and the contestants conducted rallies nationwide, but the naira cash and forced scarcity reduced activities and attendance. Political parties denounced unequal campaign conditions due to the interference of opponent governors. Reports of votes and PVC vying were also frequent. Internal party conflicts weakened the presidential campaigns of the People Democratic Party and the All Progressive Congress, with personal accusation obscuring issue-based messages shortly before the elections. There was a lack of prosecution of electoral offences and a significant increase in violent incidents closer to elections, including attacks on candidates reportedly aimed to disturb the elections and suppress voter participation, particularly in the southeast. Media offered an extensive campaign coverage despite economic hardship, institutional pressures, and electoral violence. Primetime newscasts focused on the naira swap and APC and PDP and emulsators, granting both parties equitable exposure, although mostly negative in tone. Politicians also use polarizing rhetoric on air, and conspiracy theories, originating online, were frequently discussed in the most popular talk shows. Analytical reporting on party policies was scant. Lead contestants could not be compared directly, as the PDP and the APC and PDP rebuffed presidential debates, undermining voters' right to an informed choice. Social media was actively used by political actors as a campaign tool. However, the platform was misused to spread harmful content, including disinformation on key electoral processes. The measures the platform took to protect electoral integrity were insufficient. Misleading information also came from political actors and contributed to a blurred information environment for voters. Online and offline media joined forces with civil society and fact-checkers to safeguard the integrity of the pre-election information environment. Real-time fact-checking of the gubernatorial and other contestant debates strive to hold candidates accountable, while various formats of voter information raise voter awareness and help to counter electoral insecurity, complementing Inec efforts. Civil society organizations observe and scrutinize different aspects of the election, issued several pre-election reports, at times probing Inec operational preparedness, offering voters a non-partisan assessment of election preparations. Over 144,800 citizens observed and monitored election day proceedings. We know, say, this election, this one we can do. I say it's going to be the mother of all election, but believe me, it is now here Inec do the worst. And sincerely, I want to make we Nigerians no accept them. It should be unacceptable. Alright, on this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.